Now in this video we're going to be looking at how to create motion tween, but we've already seen the classic version, so now we're going to be concentrating on the new motion tween and what we can do with it. So I'll just ask you to create a square on your stage, and I'm going to press V to activate my selection tool, and then I'll completely select the object that I have here, and remember our shortcut F8, which is modify convert to symbol. So we're going to convert this into a symbol. SQ for square is the name. Notice the movie type I'm using is movie clip, and the registration point right in the middle. So we'll click OK. Well, at this point, as you can see, and I'll show you by opening up my properties window, we have in our properties selected the instance of a movie clip. All right. So at this point, what we want to do is to create our new motion tween. So how do we do that? If you remember, in a classic motion tween at 30 frames per second, if I wanted 1 second of animation, I would select frame 30 and I would press F6 or right click and say insert keyframe. However, when you're working with the newest type of motion tween, all you got to do is convert your object into a symbol, and at that first frame we're going to right click and say create motion tween. Not a classic tween, but a motion tween. So when we do that, first thing you'll notice is that it's extended this keyframe to about frame 30, which is our defaulted frame per second rate. And you'll notice that the red reading head is pushed to the end. And basically what you got to do is just move the object to another position, and you'll see that a keyframe is created at frame 30, but also notice that you've got this interesting little path. If you were to count up all of the dots in between those paths, what you would end up with is 30 dots. So each one of these little dots is representing one of the keyframes that are on your timeline. And if I grab this and scrub the timeline, look how easy that was. You just have to move the object into a position, and then the animation is created for you. It's really fantastic. And one of the other beautiful things is that, if I wanted to come over here, I could also change it. Say at frame 15, I want to move it to another position. Check it out. You could just move it from here to here. And then you'll notice that it moves to there. If I want to move it over here, you'll see that we have even more sort of movement in place. So you can really get a great sense of what you can accomplish inside of Flash with this new type of motion tween. It's really, really a lot of fun. And as you can see, I could certainly, come over here and add another keyframe, insert a keyframe, or something along those lines. But you'll see, not really activated. It doesn't really show you what you want to be doing. So what you could do is to insert frames, extend those frames, and then, now that we have this object at another position, you could then create another movement. Now notice, from here to here, 30 to 60, that's got a lot of keyframes. There's 30 keyframes in between there, and you can see the difference between those. And what does that mean for us? Well, basically it shows you that if you've got a lot of keyframes in between those 2 points, it's going to move slower than if you have fewer keyframes between those points. See the big jump over here? It looks almost like it jumps pretty quick. And basically what that's showing you is all of these extra keyframes. Let me just double click on the layer, and I will change the outline color to red. You could probably see that a little bit better. So now that we see those paths in red, you can kind of get a sense of where those separations are. And when you have a lot of them, means you're going to be slow. When you have just a few of them, means you're going to be going quickly. So you'll see, bang, it jumps rather quickly over here. So let's test our movie. Control Enter. And when we do that, you see that we have our movement. See the quick jump in the middle there and the slow movement at the end. So just to give you an idea, we could have, positioned our cursor red reading head over here, and check it out. You could just add another keyframe just by moving your object around, doing different things, as you can see I'm doing here. So this zigzag pattern works out really easily on this idea. And remember, if you want to add more frames, you don't come and make a new keyframe, but rather you just say insert more frames. And now you've got all these motion tween frames ready and available waiting for you. So if I were to take this and drag it over here, you'd see that now we've got 30 little dots in between that path. So Control Enter, test our movie again, and you can see how that's actually working. So the new motion tween is really a lot of fun. And wait till we take a look at motion guides and we can see what we can do with these paths that we have here.